Welcome to the Lila Life Show. I'm your host, Linda Andrews, and you've tuned in to the right place to up-level in your life and business. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Lila Life Show. I am your host, Linda Andrews, and I have a very special solo episode for you today. So I want to check in after about 2 months of doing some major heavy lifting within my business and share with you what that has meant for me as I'm navigating my personal journey, with the hopes that it will maybe activate something in you that needs a little guidance right now. I have some different coaching questions that I'll pose for you. And I want you to consider right now something that's coming up for you in your life that you have a lot of resistance around, or your business. And maybe it's even one of each. And let's make this really real. So we're going to get some examples going. We're going to take whatever that is, that resistance point, and break it down. Before we do that, I want to tell you a little backstory. So I got accepted to this program called Incubator, and it was following the Y Combinator methodology, but specific for women and underrepresented founders, with the intention of getting you to build your pre-seed deck. So for those of you that may not study venture capital, this was a desire of mine because I saw when I worked in finance how going for the fundraise and getting institutional dollars can give your business a whole bigger trajectory than you may not otherwise have had. And this was just always something I found really curious. It's honestly this personal experiment within myself that's like, how unlimited is the world? And I just want to see what glass ceilings I'll run up against or not. And it for me feels like kind of the craziest thing that I could do, like the hardest thing, like raising venture capital. And I share this because your goal doesn't have to be my goal, right? Your goal doesn't have to be your biggest, craziest goal. But there's got to be something within you that can kind of click you forward in that growth mindset. So think about whatever that is. And again, for me, this is like this deep desire to see how boss lady of a boss lady can I get? And like, let's get some venture funds and make an epic business, and really serve. So I want to make sure that's really also clear. I think those are the parts to the equation that have always been driving all of this, is like, oh, and if I'm at a level where I have venture funds and say have built a company to be billions of dollars, and I've done that through serving and providing value to other humans, like, amazing. Oh my gosh. Wow. Like thinking about consciousness and helping turn some tides. Uh, I've had to be mindful within myself of when is that getting into rescue mode. But it doesn't feel like that. It feels like I just explained. So anyway, going down this venture capital roadmap and this 8-week incubator program, Incubator, as I just mentioned, there became this invitation to get really real about my business. And, for those of you who don't fully know everything that Lila Life does, we have this amazing podcast, but we also have coaches and healers that work for us as part of the Lila Life team. Myself, I do one-on-one coaching, and we have a low-cost membership called the Lila Life Collective, where you can access our best teachings and trainings. And during my time running this company, the technology's been pretty messy, and I'm not going to get into all the details of what I mean by that. But it spurred this idea of, wow, what if I could develop something that's software that could make this a better experience and allow coaches and healers to have an even more amazing experience doing what they love, and really keeping some of the core values around flexibility and, uh, desire to set your income as some of the core tenets to this tool. So, okay, there's this software. Whoa, I'm not technical. I don't know anything about software. And over the course of those 8 weeks, I had to really do some heavy lifting, stretch my comfort zone. I had a mentor, I had the program heads and the really supportive cohort of other founders. And I was just rubbing up against so much resistance. It was like, you're an imposter. You think you can be a tech CEO? Like, what are you doing? You're never going to fundraise. Like the loudest, most hard resistance ever. And I was shocked because this is the most aware I've ever been in my life. And I'm listening to this and I'm just like, oh my God, this is so loud. And I got to move through this. And so this connects this little episode to you right now, where I asked you earlier to bring up some resistance. And behind that resistance, like what's feeling sticky in your life? So for me, the example was, going to the next level, raising my pre-seed funds, my deck. I'm asking for $750,000. Like I have a 1-year roadmap for what I'm going to do with that. Really got into the economics and the team and the development and all the things, right? Can justify what that ask is, but what's coming up? What's the fear? So this is question number one, is what's the fear? So in this example, it's like that I'm going to fail, that I'm not good enough, that I don't know enough, that I'm not smart enough. And it was like all of these memories of all the times that all this has ever come up just start coming up. And so if you're finding this resonant, I think right now more than ever is the time to heal. And it's coming up to heal. It's coming up for you to heal. So these fears are coming up for you to heal. And by acknowledging what the fears are, it's really going to give you that opportunity to come on the other side of it by facing it. And this is where, this is, I think, at its simplest shadow work, but that fear, the unwillingness to look at the fear is then what lives in shadow. And this is really huge because once you start unlocking shadow, you're like, oh shit, I got to integrate this. I got to move through this. This is coming up to heal. And when you can't face it, that you won't unlock it. And so this question of what's the fear, if that feels uncomfortable and you feel like you start bullshitting yourself, there's just information there. So look at it and really hone in. What is the fear? And maybe there's a few whys you can ask, getting to those 5 layers of why. Ask yourself, well, what's the fear and why and why and why? What's behind that? Okay, once you've built that out, what do I want? What do you want? And in this example, it's like, I want to take my business to the next level. I want to take my business to all the levels. I want to serve. I want to create. I want to thrive. I want to create jobs for my employees. I want to really positively impact coaches and healers to have the positive impact that they have. Okay, I know what I want. And how will I feel with that? And so, in this example of like closing out the pre-seed round, how will I feel with that? I feel like, wow, I did it. I'm on that next step. I feel, some level of fulfillment, that I had this hard work and dedication and it paid off, all these feelings. And when you go back to that initial, what's the fear and that voice and the root of the resistance, just notice now, how does it feel now? And I see in real time from these 3 questions, what's the fear? What do I want? How will I feel with that? That it unlocks a lot. I think trauma, right? The experience of past trauma can lead to hypervigilance, lots of fears, like, what's the word? When you just freeze. Okay, when you just freeze, the fight, flight, or freeze, not stuck, whatever. I'll let it go. But anyway, you are in these different feelings, and if you can let yourself really look at what's underneath it, there's just so much healing. So I think that when you do this work right now, as I'm sharing, what happens is the resistance that can lead to even procrastination. It, like I said, really melts. So check in with yourself with this. I'm really, really excited. And I think that everyone in their heart has some things wanting to emerge right now. And that's requiring that there's some things that may have to be let go of. There's some processing that needs to happen, especially maybe some grief, some loss. And in that, it brings us to acceptance. And without pressure, without needing to get there, but eventually you will orient to acceptance. And from this place of acceptance leads to choice. So doing these 3 questions, bringing yourself to acceptance and being in integrity with your then choices is so, so, so powerful. I'm going to be hosting a workshop on this coming up in a few weeks. So you can hop on to the Instagram or our Eventbrite page and learn more about that workshop. It's Instagram, and you can actually watch it on Facebook. And then this will live in the Lila Life Collective. We have Erica and Jamie getting some regular awesome content into the collective. So if you aren't already a member, we would love to extend that invitation to you. And we have a special promo code TLLS. And that'll give you a special surprise discount once you are signing up for the collective. So we wish you so well on your journey. If you have something that you use these questions, what's the fear? What do I want? How will I feel with that? That you've applied this to and you want to share, we would love to hear. You can drop that in the Facebook group, tag us on Instagram, whatever is feeling good, drop it in the reviews here and just share. We want to curate this content for you. The more feedback we get, the better. And if this helped touch your life, please spread the love. Be well and keep your eyes oriented to what you want, how you'll feel with that. And I think you'll be really surprised at the miracles that lie ahead for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Lila Life Show. Be sure to share, like, and comment. Tune in next week. And if you're not already a member of the Lila Life Collective, you'll want to be. So take a look in the show notes and be sure you sign up today. Have a beautiful day.